but he also goes by Digga Dan, right?
You were
So
not born
I'm
when
like
this
super
came on.
excited about it.
Yeah,
Let me
Jackie,
I know this.
turn him down a little bit.
Dang.
is anyone else joining the panel? Come on.
Hold on, that's Gerald coming on. Hi
I
everybody, how
sent
you guys doing tonight?
I
Reynard,
sent the
Tate.
invitation to Chris. You know Chris, right?
Let me turn that down a little
The
bit.
ladies of the
Hey
chat
guys, how you
and
doing,
Scott.
YouTube? We're live streaming tonight too.
But I don't
We're
know
gonna
who
get ready to go
I don't know
soon.
who'll come.
So
I haven't heard back from Chris yet.
we're gonna get ready.
So we'll
So
see.
anyway, how you guys doing? Everybody had a good week. I had a pretty good week, guys. Nothing too exciting.
Chris Fisher, the ladies,
Work, yeah, but I'm glad for it. You know, I'm on the grind on the outside, so this new normal is what I call it. But anyway, we're gonna get ready to
So I'm
go.
gonna open the.
We're
We
just
have
gonna be
like
talking
2
about
minutes before
entrepreneur,
we start. So
rapper,
what
mass
you there?
incarceration,
You
guys.
good?
We're gonna just be talking
I'm
about
good.
some different
You
topics
good?
Ready
tonight.
to
All right.
go.
Well, you're
Yep.
looking
So,
good. So you ready to
Thank you.
go?
Thank you. I'm ready to
You're
go.
looking good. All right. So I'm gonna open the Zoom room
we're
and
getting
then we'll
ready.
start our.
Gee, you
We're
got
ready.
some light. You got some light. You have a light
That's what
on
I
your
was just
table.
thinking. As far as wherever I be seated, it's probably gonna be dark. So I'm gonna trying to figure it out now. I
Okay.
probably
Hey Keisha, hey
You don't have a candle or something.
a
Oh
candle
my
that
god.
wouldn't help out in no
Digga Dan in
form
the
or
house
fashion,
tonight,
bro.
guy rapper. He's coming out of
Okay.
Tennessee.
So
He's got
What
some
do you
Never
hot
do?
new
did.
tracks, and so he's going to be sharing his rap
All I
work
can
with
do
us.
is
So
move
we're just
around
going
a
to kick
bit.
back, have a good time, just some music, and
Hold
do what we
on, bear
do.
with me. Uh-oh. But I definitely don't have no candle. All right. We got 30 seconds before we go live on Accelerated Radio, Jack's Radio.
Getting ready to go live,
All right.
Accelerated Radio,
Let me see.
yaxradio.com. We do that
It's
on both
dark
networks
everywhere
everywhere.
because lights above me. I don't have no extra light either.
But we're going to have some fun. So.
Oh, we go. Me moving
Hey!
around, doing a lot.
okay, guys, I'm preparing to go live on Facebook.
Okay, I'll figure it out. Let me think here.
So anyway, we're doing it.
Knowing me, I'll probably be moving around anyway.
That's true. So it's going live.
Hello, everybody. Good evening and welcome to the Poetry of Justice show with JackieRay Phillips on yaxradio.com and acceleratedradio.net. Now, what we do here on the Poetry of Justice show, this is where social consciousness meets the arts. And so we select topics that spark the interest and awareness of social diversity, ranging from arts, entertainment, and social justice at large, leaving our listeners thinking and saying in unison, Lori G.
YikesRadio.com.
Now, those are the sultry sounds of my mentor, everybody, the Mr. Kevin Nash. And you know, Mr. Nash is the owner of the proprietorship here at Yikes Radio and AccelerateRadio.net. So I always like to give a very special shout out to Mr. Nash because if it was not for his dream and passions, it wouldn't be possible for me to do what I so love to do here on the Poetry of Justice show. And then I'd like to give a very special shout out to my sister, Miss Lori Ray Fisher, also known as the benefactor here on the Poetry of Justice show, with JackieRay Phillips, part of our sponsorship. Yes! Thank you, Lori G. How are you tonight, my love?
I am great. Super excited. Super excited. Got a
Awesome
big treat.
sauce.
Big treat.
And then I'd also like to give a very special thank you and shout out to Big Tap Promotions. We've got Big Tapper in the house tonight. How are you doing, Mr. Tapper? I'm going to take that as you're doing good tonight, Tap. We're going to have a really, really good show, guys. But let me give you a little bit more information on one of our other sponsors. I'd like to give a very special shout out to G Babies Catering. And that's going to be Chef Mac at G Babies, GBABBIES G Babies. You want to get at Chef Mac on Instagram. So go ahead and check him out. gbabies.catering. You want to check him out, everybody. And then I'd like to give a very special shout out to our other sponsorship on the more technical side of things is WMPJ Steelworks as well as APS Muscle Cars, guys. Just want to let you know that there's been some new works and things going on over at APS Muscle Cars, guys. Ladies and gentlemen, there's a new facility here in the Signal Hill, California. And so we're going to be doing some vehicle storage for you there. So you maybe have motorcycles, low riders, hot rods, whatever you got. This is the guy you want to go to if you want to do some transportation, some storage. His name is Memo. Check him out at MEMO at apsmusclecars.com. So, I know I said a mouthful tonight already. So, how's everybody doing tonight, guys?
Hey.
Let me turn it back up. You doing good, David?
Excellent.
Excellent. You got your light going on now, huh?
There you
I had to stand up in front of it. I said, okay, let everybody see.
That's right. That's right. We're going to make it happen. Hey, Rashid, can you do that little Brady Bunch get down for us again? I know, right? Now we got our little Brady Bunch get down. Lori G, how you doing tonight? Bunch? Yeah, you going to do that again for us?
Yeah, hold on.
Okay, good looking, good looking. Hi, so everybody in Facebook. I got a rapper in the house tonight, a producer. This guy does all kinds of things. We're going to be listening to some good, pure music. We're going to have a good time tonight. Lori G, how are you doing, sissy? There it goes.
Here's my Bible.
I know, right? You guys are bad, just bad.
Look down.
You guys are ridiculous. Let's do it.
I keep telling Digga Den, that's back when I got y'all.
I know, right?
All right now. I remember that.
I tell you.
It's pretty cool on the Zoom room, you know? It's pretty cool.
I have no bonus conversation.
I know.
Yay! Right?
It is.
I feel like I need some peanut butter. I used to bake when I come home from cheer practice, you guys. So I grew up in Compton, David. Me and my sister. So yeah. So we were cheerleaders. And so when I come home from cheer practice, you're exhausted. So what we would do is I'd give me a piece of wheat bread, put a toaster, get it nice and crunchy, and then put a layer of peanut butter on top. And then if I was like real special, put a piece of cheese on top of that, and just like and just rub it down to the ground. That would be the time because it's time to do my homework. So it's like now you done got home, the Brady Bunch is on, and you let it play while you sit there do your homework and eat your food.
Yeah.
That was a memory lane moment. Anyway, I guess I really got too familiar. What about you? How you doing tonight?
Who's that, me?
Yes, sir.
Oh yeah, I'm doing excellent. I'm flashing back as you were talking about your Brady Bunch experience. I was thinking about the same thing. I actually would cut school, but and that would be playing along in the mornings with something like Gilligan's Island, Love Boat, shows like
Not
that.
Gilligan's
I was watching that.
Easy.
Winkle. I remember all of it.
Bewitched.
Right.
All of it. I know.
Oh.
Absolutely.
How you doing tonight, Mr. Tapper?
Oh, I'm doing great.
Yeah.
It's a wonderful day today, yup. And it's a pleasure to be here with my man Digga. We go way back. As you know, I had to get him on the show because he has involved into the extraordinary producer slash promoter slash social media guru slash. Right. He's doing it all. And it's just good to be here with him and to tell his story and to teach the youth and the people out there that's also trying to do similar things as he's doing give them a platform of how to do it. And, you know, he's just giving back because he's, you know, he's happy to be here.
Yay. Thank you so much. Thank
Be
you.
much.
Well, I have a
Thanks,
host
man.
of questions, Laura. I'm gonna let you take over for a little bit.
Okay, there we go.
You hear me? Because I
I
got
was
a whole
doing a
lot of
little
stuff, so I'm gonna be nice and share. So I got all kind of stuff. You know how I do.
Ray was monitoring our Zoom room. Well, you know, I'm the kind of girl. I'm kind of simple. I like to go all the way back to the beginning. Right.
Good.
Because your music is really hot, and I really can't wait to get to those songs. But I want to start back when you were growing up and you were a kid. I mean, where did music fit into that, or did it? Is this stuff like where did this passion develop in your life?
From the very beginning of it being mainstream, with the Sugar Hill Gang, I'm talking about from the moment I heard that record, that Rapper's Delight, that's the name of the song. From the moment I heard that record, I was locked in. I wanted to learn that song. So I remember getting a friend of mine to write it for me. He wrote down the lyrics because at the time, I didn't have a record player. We didn't have a record player at home, you know? So my friend had it, and he wrote the lyrics down, and I learned the lyrics. And from that moment is when I learned how to actually write a song. By, you know, my friend writing that one song for me, as far as the Rapper's Delight. And again, I've been locked in ever since.
Wow.
So
I remember that.
Right.
Like you play the record and then you write it down and you put it back. You guys remember those days?
Yep.
Get all the lyrics down.
That's right.
Now, where did you grow up, Digga? Were you in Tennessee or where'd you grow up?
I grew up in Harlem, New York, born and raised.
Yes, score.
All right. Native New Yorker, huh?
That's right.
I like
Spent
it.
most of my all of my childhood there, most of my adulthood there.
You did?
So you get inspired by Rapper's Delight, right? So are you like rapping at school and on the street corners, or what are you doing? What's your next step after that?
Oh, that's a good question. Right after that, I pretty much was on the corner, like you said. I remember banging the beats on the mailbox and starting to learn my own raps by then, and drawing a good little crowd. And me, a friend of mine, his name is Stoney, we would be on that corner all day, every day, just rhyming on that mailbox. And I think that was considered our first studio.
Wow, that's so cool. That's so cool.
Right, did it from that mailbox when I was in school, on the lunch tables. You know how they go.
Yeah.
The school desks, the lunch table, everywhere. We was just always freestyling, rhyming. Because when we were doing it as kids at the time, it was all about fun. It wasn't all about, you know, having these deep, dark stories of pain and this and that. It was mostly about fun. Hip hop, you know.
Yeah.
So that's what we were doing then, and it was definitely fun.
So you're like having fun with
Hi guys,
it.
how y'all doing? What's up,
and
Floss?
just
How you doing, Nathaniel? Thank you, Flossie, for stopping by.
When is the first step
hey, Peter,
that you realize,
how you doing?
like,
hey, Terry, thank you so much,
I'm
you guys.
beyond the corner.
Hey, Cornell.
This stuff,
hey, Tina.
People want to hear
how
my
y'all
stuff.
doing?
And
How y'all doing tonight? Hello,
performance
Carmen. God bless
for
you
an
and
organized
thank you.
crowd?
Hey, Nathaniel.
Ooh,
Sound quality is
one
compromised.
of those school talent
hold
shows.
on.
Not a talent show.
A talent show.
All
That's
right,
when I realized, like, wow, because I didn't know the effect was there or that serious until I performed for the talent show on 113th Street. When I say the crowd was crazy there, and I'm saying to myself, oh, sweat, okay, this is a little, you know, deeper than I thought. Because we always drew the crowd on the corner, nice little 15, 20 people just standing there. Some people might be trying to pass by, I'm going to say, because they would stop and listen. But the talent show really did it because it was packed. And when I say everybody was going crazy, and when they were singing along to a song that I had, that's what really let me know, oh, I might need to try to take this a little more serious.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
and so that was the beginning of that journey.
Uh-huh. That's
Yeah,
exciting. So you're like, okay, people like my stuff, and I'm going to take it to the next level.
Yeah.
For all our
mhm.
young, aspiring rappers that are out there, what was the next level for you?
Right.
How did you kind of get beyond the neighborhood?
Ooh. Well,
Mm.
I know I started reaching out as far as to networking, trying to find out who's who and who do I need to talk to and things of that sort. From that point, I met a guy. His name is Charles, and I don't even remember his last name, but I remember his name being Charles.
Mm-hmm.
And he lived a few blocks away from where I was, and he had a studio,
Okay.
Mm.
and he also did managing. I can't remember this one movie he was in where he had this really small little cameo. But anyway, he was a semi big shot at the time.
Right?
So I wound up signing a little contract for this guy to manage and promote me and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And that didn't go so well. I can't lie. But right behind dealing with this guy is where I meet Big Tap.
Okay.
All
All
right.
right
Here we go.
now.
Now,
Hey.
now it gets interesting.
Yeah, right. And that's when things, when I say went like from gutter to next level, it
Hmm.
went next level really quick because 1 minute we're on the street corners hustling, doing what we do on the
Mm-hmm.
street, and next minute we're at Eddie Murphy's mansion every weekend.
Wow.
Yeah, in the studio and really putting in work. I mean, yeah, Big Tap had us a little bit of everywhere. Performing at Nails, it was this one. I'll never forget Nails because you can perform with a live band, and I used to love doing that.
Mm-hmm.
And even at that time, I was still a youngster. I had to be every bit of somewhere around the 18, 19 years old range.
Oh, wow.
And I'm up in the club, just being grown,
Having a good
Right.
time, huh? Man.
So, Mr. So, Tap, where did you see Digga?
Yeah.
How did you say that this is, hey, this is the group or this is an artist that I got to get connected with? When was that moment?
No, I'm not sure who turned me on to Digger and Stony in the group, but Digger is the first person I met, and
Yeah.
and he told me someone had referred me to him.
Okay.
So we met up, and as soon as I heard I think it was probably a cassette.
Yeah,
And
it was a
as soon as
cassette.
I heard his cassette, I knew right then
Hmm.
these boys, they got potential.
Yeah.
So I started back then. It was A&R people, artists and repertoires at the radio, at the record labels and stuff. But I knew I had to get them out there, get them seen. So I would, like Digger said, I used to all the clubs around the city. I used to have them go and perform just to get their name out there. And they used to crush. And they was performing with a lot of known people out there. Big Daddy Kane. I mean, all the known rappers from back then. They was right there. They was meeting a lot of people. They was really feel. They did it. They got so involved and got so used to it so quick. I knew I had a diamond in the rough. I knew I had a gem right there. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So then I let them hear. Fed was working with Eddie Murphy, so I let Eddie Murphy's brother Vernon had a record.
K9 Posse.
And I let Vernon hear the CD, and he loved it, and he automatically let us use Eddie's $2 million state of the art.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, it was awesome. Eddie loved it.
He did.
Eddie Murphy,
it was unreal.
What was that like for you, Digga? What was that like for you? When you like, man, this is where we're going. What did that feel like on the real?
I mean, like honestly,
Yeah.
I might not have shown it at the time, but trust when I tell you, I was always in awe because I mean, I'm in this guy's mansion. We gotta walk past a bowling alley and go down the elevator. It's like it was unreal to me. I'm sitting here like, yeah, this is house. You got a gym upstairs, like you know what I mean. So yeah, I was in awe. I'm here sitting with Charlie Murphy.
Shit.
Literally, he's
Wow.
sitting in on sessions and Kaka Keenan with us laughing, cutting up on us. Don't even know us from a can of paint. What y'all mad at? Crazy, you know what I mean? So just the experience alone, it was. I don't have any other word but awesome. It was awesome just to have that memory alone.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, Digga, were you a solo artist or was it a part of a group when you first started?
Part of a group when I first started.
Okay.
Started out with a group. We were all called 3D. Myself, a guy named Al Mack, and Goldfingers was the DJ. And as things evolved, we wound up Al Mack and Goldfinger. They pretty much were out the picture, and I brought guys from around my way in, and it was me, myself, Stoney, and Kim. We all started this group called Posse because we were pretty much into the whole gangster rap wave at the time. When I say the Posse movement was really crazy, that was another ride.
Okay, you got to go like a little deeper on that one. What made it so crazy?
Yeah. What made
The
it crazy?
Posse movement.
What made it crazy?
Because we're talking about a movement here.
Let me.
It's a movement.
First of all,
I mean, for starters, go ahead.
Marcio and another member, Stoney Gibbs, which this guy was unbelievable. He, the way he rhymed and his whole aura, his whole persona was like electric. It was, I mean, everywhere he goes, it was crazy. People would look at it. He would frighten people. I mean, and his rap was terrifying. And he had reputation on the streets as, one of them dudes to take you out. Period. You know what I mean? So we had muscle in the group. Basio was muscle. They were just straight gangster lyrics with a flow that was impeccable. It was ridiculous. Everybody that heard him took heed. We was working with the best DJs, the best rappers. I mean, we was, and we'll get to down the line of why, it didn't come into a lucrative situation as far as getting signed to a label and all that. Because they were basically scared of us. You know what I mean? We was we was coming on some, some reality. We call it realism.
Right.
We was hitting with realism. And Digga was the mastermind of the realism. And, it just, the reputation and the buzz, and, I was just living off, I was high on the buzz that I had in my circle alone. When we took it outside to the masses, it was like, maybe I couldn't even handle it because we was in Philly. Listen, our reputation in Philly was second to none. And then New York, Jersey, it was building. And then we got caught up with realism. There's also realism could be good realism, and realism could be bad realism.
Yeah.
A little bad realism because the group started getting incarcerated.
Okay.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Because unfortunately, too real.
Yeah.
They're real, right?
So Tap, you're in Philly, and Digga, you're in New York. How did your paths cross?
I was living, when I took on Paseo, Lori, in '89, when we signed, I was living in Midtown.
Oh, okay.
43rd and 9th.
I was living in Hell's Kitchen where I worked. I was living on 9th Avenue and 44th Street.
Oh, 44th. I said 43rd.
Okay.
Right.
And now, now I'm up in Harlem, where Digga's from, where he resided in the Harlem.
Mm-hmm.
I'm on 111th. I'm on 7th between 111 and 112. Digga's 114th Street. The Paseo 114. I live in their neighborhood now. Should have been there all the time, spending all that outrageous rent downtown. But I was young and dumb and an idiot back then. You know what I mean?
He wasn't listening, huh, Digga?
No.
Well, guys, I think we have the song Realism Saga, right?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
How about we take a listen to that? What do you think?
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Rashid, can you play Realism Saga for us?
Now this is
I know, I love that one.
Let's go. And it's your boy, Ben, aka Godzilla Digga. So you know what that means. We can consider this a brief intermission.
It's back to the business of tearing these cats' heads off. Chase paper, fuck a dream, beings that she wet and soft. Never deal with her for long just cause I'm getting off. Life's my main chick, she know how to set it off. Even though her husband is deaf, I still play him close. I don't know a single prayer, but I can make a toast. I ain't never did a seance, but I can make a ghost. Preferably to take a broke situation and make the most. Maybe my logic is comatose. Stuck in between a rock and a hard place that I go the most. Usually the tight place I gotta hold the toast. Or stay well prepared to run when Popo approach. It's either that or hold the post as I overdose on the roller coaster of the ride of my life. Like you said, I could be wrong, but I'm right. Cause even if I'm wrong, I know that I'm right. Once again, it's the posse Yosta. Me and Quick Mom rep like Cosa Nostra. If life's a chick, I'ma test the chocha. Depending how I like her, pass her on over. And I'm probably not supposed to, but I wish Ock was here. My G was a soldier. Damn, what a terrible waste when all these weak-ass lames occupy your man's space. Plus, it didn't help that I caught that case, got put in that place at the end of that chase. No regrets, had to bump that bass, live life fast-paced, chase mad apes, stay laced off sprinkles of that Scarface. Nose clean, over weed, show indeed, like you said, I could be wrong, but I'm right. Cause even if I'm wrong, I know that I'm right. Realism runs through the veins. It's real, it's real, it's real, it's real, it's real, it's
Thank you.
That. I told y'all I had to get dressed today. That's what I was doing when I was getting dressed. I like that one a lot.
Wow. All I can say is wow. You know, I'm gonna let you in on a little secret, Digga.
Okay.
My sister and I are gangster rap fans. I tell you.
Oh
my goodness.
That is awesome to hear.
This is just slamming. Now, I have got to know the inspiration for Realism Saga. Where did that come from? How did it come about?
Well, for the most part, I was just more or less reintroducing myself. Because for the most part, you know, I lived the rough one. Like, just bottom line, that's the street life. You know, there's no other way to put it. And I just wanted to make everyone familiar with who I am as far as where I come from, things of that nature. A little glimpse inside the mind.
Digga,
and that's really all.
Did you just put it this way? Did you decide to become a G, or did it engulf you?
You said, did it engulf me?
You know what I mean?
I'm
Did you
gonna.
choose it or did it choose you by osmosis? That's probably where I want to
I
go with
chose
that.
it.
Yeah?
I chose it. My upbringing, as far as if I was to talk about my mom and pop, the home life, it was steady.
Mm.
But right outside that door, as soon as I opened that apartment door, everything was going on. You see the little the heroin needles and the
Mm.
addicts all outside, and like, I mean, it was just rough.
Right,
All the
right.
abandoned buildings and all. We talking about 70s, 80s in
Mm.
Harlem. It
Mm.
was nothing but rough.
Right.
Right.
Mm.
But yeah, I did choose it because, again, as far as the home life, I had everything I could want. It was just my surroundings. It was a little bit overwhelming, and then I found myself at times, having to fight off the bullies when I was a little kid. And
Right.
then when I figured out that I could reach in this garbage can and throw a bottle at them and that they're running, that made me think, like, oh, they're more scared of me than I am of them. And, then it
Beat
just
some
progressed.
Right.
Yeah.
But like if
Right.
I have a question for you, sir. I think I know when you fell in love with hip hop, but Digga Den. What's the backstory of your name? Can you share that with us, please?
Oh, yeah, that's not a problem at all.
Thank you.
Everything starts from the DIN, DIA, right? I had a Puerto Rican homie of mine. He used to live right across the street from me, and we used to do graffiti. So we would tag on everywhere. I'm everywhere. Nothing was exempt. You know what I'm saying? And he called himself Ken,
Okay.
and for whatever the reason, he just kept calling me Din, like you Din. And so I'm like, oh, this sounds cool. Okay. And then I just ran with it because, like, when I say this was my partner, so it's like, so
Okay.
yeah, so you're Ken, I'm Din. All right, let's go. And before you know it, when I say the name stuck, and so I have another homie who lived on the block as well. His name was Big E. He's the one that will always say Digga Den. For whatever the reason, he just kept saying Digga, Digga, Digga Den, Digga Den, Digga Den, trying to give it I
Yeah.
guess, his own little swag.
Yeah, yeah.
And yeah, Big E, R.I.P. And ever since he gave me that tag right there in itself, it literally just stuck with me.
That's nice. I
Wow.
like that.
Yeah. So the streets named me.
That's part. Nice and unique. You see what I mean? What you think, Lori G?
Oh yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So we hear about realism, right? And we got Posse O. You guys are hot. You're rising up the chart, and the group breaks up because of, did you say, incarceration of members? Is that how you guys break up, or what happens at that point?
Well, it's not even that we broke up. It's just that, as far as chasing music from the career standpoint of it all,
Right.
it was pretty much hurting us because of the fact of my boy Stoney, especially. He was the real wild one of the bunch, and he stayed going to jail. So with him getting locked up, myself, I got locked up. Then my other partner, Ak, he died. So in a car crash.
Oh,
Oh my
wow.
goodness.
So, things like that. When I say it was one hold back after another, it was getting real crazy.
Lloyd, put it like this.
Wow.
When I used to come up to Harlem, to pick up Digga and Stoney and those guys, right? I used to be with my partner. He was the financial backer of the production company, Big Tap Music. We had a financial backer, right? So I would see Stone and Dig on the corner. They was getting money. They was hustling, right? So that block was live and in the mug. I was just starting to get to know everybody. It was a good feeling because everybody knew.
Right.
I wasn't involved. We was involved in a different way. But when you get noticed, you feel safe and you feel good. But when I would come up with my man, he was Italian.
Yeah.
Okay.
Stone would be on the corner, and I would say, "Yo, Stone," right? And Stone was right there on the corner. I'd be in the car, and all of a sudden, Stone would look shocked. He would look like, And I was like, Stony Gibbs, come here. And a bus would go by. When that bus would go by and leave, Stone would be gone by the time that bus go back. He thought we was detectives.
Oh
He thought we
shit!
was detectives.
One time got to roll.
My friend had a deuce and a quarter, the long detective looking car. So they was everybody on the corner was saying, yo, 5050. And seeing me wasn't enough. It was crazy, man. And it was like that's what I had to do, with the guys. But you get used to it. That's just a normal day of life. I would pick them up at 8 or 9 o'clock at night.
Mm-hmm.
They hustle would be on from whatever time they started in the morning till 9. From 9 until our studio session would be from 10 to 6 in the morning. We'd be in the studio.
Dang.
Straight up.
Getting it in.
Man, that's a hustle. And them dudes was dedicated, and that's how we was living. You know what I mean? Right. And I had to keep it 100 because, I had to keep it straight. I had to keep it convenient and lenient because of the mere fact, if I would crumble, then we couldn't do this. Right. You know what I mean? I couldn't depend everything on our financial backer. I had to stay on point. These dudes had to hustle because they had to eat. Yeah. These dudes was also trying to get out of that hustle by making some music. You know what I mean? Yes. This was a routine we went through for years. Wow. That the life of a hustler is ridiculous. You know what I mean? You hustle music, you hustle dope, you whatever. The life as a hustler is real. I don't knock nobody, but you got to do what you got to do to try to get out. As long as you trying to get out of it, I got your back. I'm with you. Right. You can't stay in it. You got to eat, man. People got to feed their family.
That's right.
So Big Tap, what was your plan for Paseo? Yeah. Like you guys are making music and recording.
I knew that these guys had an image and I knew that they had product that could, that the masses would enjoy. That people, if I got a chance to put them on the platform of everybody hearing them, like the radio and the stores and whatnot, I knew they would expand. Okay. But you needed, and what I did is I pressed up like, what it was, 5,000 copies, and I was giving them out on the streets and stuff like that. Then I pressed up another 1,000. We was trying to make our money back by selling on the street, and we was getting good feedback, and we was getting a lot of meetings from these major labels. But at the time, unfortunately, what happened, Jackie and Lori, was the whole music business in a whole was changing from the old school method of A&R and coming in with meetings to the digital. You know what I mean? Everything was done, in a digital platform, like iTunes was starting to, everything was changing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Napster.
Oh, yeah. Oh my God, yeah.
We was caught in the middle of that, and therefore, we wasn't prepared for that type of response. You know what I mean? So that's what happened there. I think that was really the major reason why Paseo didn't get put on. You know what I mean? But as you see, Digga, the leader of the group, I would say the leader of the group, he maintained, stayed, did his time, came out of jail, and rose even far beyond that. Now he's in a whole different avenue. He's a social media guru on production and stuff like that. It's amazing. I'm just so happy that brother stayed there, kept his focus, and is now, making a living off of what he loves. And that's why I wanted everyone to hear this story, man. Right. I think it's all about sticking with what you love and what you believe in. Eventually it has to happen.
It has to happen.
Right.
You know what I mean?
So Digga, Jackie and I have a friend, and he calls it the place. So you did a little time in
the place.
Yeah.
And so you get out of the place, and you said, do you say to yourself, like, hey, I got to reinvent myself? Do you say to yourself, I'm still going to pursue this music thing the same old way?
Right.
Or I'm going to go get a job as a dishwasher? What do you decide? I mean, when you're at that moment,
Well,
Popio's broken up.
Well, when I was at the time I was there, it was mostly about, well, let me say after a few years of getting settled, took me a few years to really come to, because in the beginning it was more, okay, I'm out of town. So now I gotta, be a savage in here just so that way we don't have no problems. That was my mentality about it.
Right.
But for the most part, everything went quiet. So as time progressed, I say somewhere around the 3 to 3.5 year mark, something like that. That's when I started getting the Sunday paper every week. And for whatever the odd reason, I would see these Best Buy ads, and I would see the computer section. And I started constantly looking at that section like, you know what? I need to get a computer because, I could get this computer and make my own music. Mind you, I don't know how to make no beats or do nothing like this yet, but something kept drawing me to this computer, and I was like, yeah, this future wave right here, and this is going to change everything when I get out. Mind you, I still have a few years left still. So by the time I'm getting closer to getting out, my whole mindset was on just getting a computer.
Okay.
Number one, get a computer. Number two, hit this pizza place on 110th Street that's still open. Because for some odd reason, I just wanted one
Get
slice.
some food.
I'll tell you what was on my mind for 6.5 years. All I could think of was a computer and this one pizza place. I just want one slice. And it was
you were
good.
focused, Digga.
But
were you talking about cornet?
Yeah. So, you say what?
You were talking about cornet pizza, please? What pizza?
We chopping up. It's on 110th and Broadway.
Yeah, okay. Cornet. That's Cornet.
They've been there forever since I was a kid.
The one that got the
they changed their names. It wasn't Cornet when I was going there. Yeah, they got the jumbo slices. That's it.
Yeah.
Yep. And that's exactly what I went for that jumbo slice.
You did.
I would later take my son to get a slice. He loved it too. Yeah. But no, the computer, my mind was on that. I had to have that computer. And as far as coming out and getting a job, for whatever the reason, that wasn't like my thought off the top of my head. But of course, I had to eventually get that because I need some form of income.
Right.
But I just wanted a computer because for whatever the reason, I knew that's all I needed to change my life.
Yeah.
That's it. Tunnel vision.
Right. And it paid off. So now you know what everybody's thinking, Digga, right?
It paid off.
You get the computer.
Talk to me.
I know, right?
You got the computer and you got the pizza.
Yep, I got the computer and the pizza. But
you good to go. You good to go.
Yeah, I was super good to go. When I did get the computer, my first computer was more or less semi-dud. It was slow. So what I did was I wound up moving from this little small town in North Carolina called Troy. I had to get about there quick. I lasted there maybe 3 weeks. And I went to I went to a supposed bigger city over there called Asheboro, and I love Asheboro, so I'm not going to say nothing negative, but it's still kind of a small town too. So I go to Asheboro and I meet up with another friend of mine who has access to a better computer, which I finally got my hands on.
Ah.
I got Fruity Loop. Fruity Loops. Believe that or not, at the time it was called that. It's FL Studio now.
Okay.
But, I got my hands on that, and I'm not gonna even lie to you guys. It still took another couple of years before I even got to learn how to make a beat because I had no friends around that even knew how to make a beat.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't know anything about any DAWs, so to speak, the digital workstations. So I'm sitting here like trying to figure all this out by myself.
Wow.
And it was killing me. Google wasn't much of help back then. Yeah. And yeah, so like a few years down the road, I started figuring it out, but I still was a little behind.
Mm-hmm.
So I wound up going to Full Sail University.
All right.
That was the beginning of life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because over there is where I would learn recording engineering, and I would learn how to do the whole works, mix, masters, things of that nature. And they would try to give you little hints on marketing. They wasn't that good on that side of it. But either way, it was a little bit of a boost because I got to ask questions and get them answered.
Right.
You know? And that's when I would start using these my two favorite DAWs right now is called Reason 11, and Logic Pro X. Those are the my weapons of choice, I like to say. Yeah, so
weapons of mass destruction.
So yeah, I'm loving it. I'm loving it. I was about to say, here you go behind me, but I forgot I got this background going, so you can't see it. But yeah, because by the time when everybody else is sleeping and all that, I'll more than likely be up mixing.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
It's the job now.
So I see you sent this song, which I really like, called "Look Ma." Is it okay if we play that one? Look Ma.
Sure, I would love that.
All right, Rashid, bring that one up for us.
You already know what it is, you know what I mean? Got me out here feeling like super nigga for real. And I got you already know what it is. Still on the production. Trying to tell y'all something, man.
Fly like a dove. I come from up above. I'm vicious with the drugs, so I tear the scale up. And if I get caught, then I tear the jail.
What's happening?
Yeah, I keep it real tough, cause most of you chumps is not real enough. I tower over cowards on the strength of the real. Can't scrape enough of them off the bottom of my heels. Even though they holler, Digga, then won't chill. Just bring it full force, only thought is to kill. Destroy everything a weak nigga build. Whoever's left standing is happy when I build. And they happy not to squeal. Got me feeling like super nigga for real. The man with steel got the kitties like yeah. Ironic, I just tell them go play. Up in the sky. Oh, it's a bird. Oh, it's a plane. No, it's a fly. A dot type of nigga. Up in the sky. Oh, it's a bird. Oh, it's a plane. No, it's a fly. A dot type of nigga. Dogs, you're way too minimal to even look for me, cause I break your digital. I'm not the one teaching through with a little pinch or two. Ask mommy what dinner for the kitchen through. Even my little babies know how daddy caught the grand and turned it to an O and made that plural till it turned into that low. And in between that, how I withstood the cold. Hour after hour, building up my superpower. Holding fort down till I made that money shower. Used quinine when they thought that it was flour. Had fiends lined up to blow their minds up. Hey, hey. And they loving the appeal. Got me feeling like super nigga for real. The man with steel got the kitties like yeah. Ironic, I just tell them go play. Up in the sky. Oh, it's a bird. Oh, it's a plane. No, it's a fly. A dot type of nigga. Hey, up in the sky. Oh, it's a bird. Oh, it's a plane. No, it's a fly.
sir. Yes, sir.
Right.
I like that.
Digga, you talking about taking me down memory lane, Lord Jesus. That was like a 10-year rewind for me. I'm on a straight and narrow path. You almost make me fall off.
I know, right? Like, I'm about to backslide.
So what?
Thank you.
Tell us about the inspiration for this. Where did this come from?
That particular song, that was just me being creative, because usually all it takes is for me to see something or whatever. I can't remember what cartoon I was even watching, because I still watch cartoons sometimes. Yeah. But it was a particular cartoon. Was it X-Men? It was one of those things, and then it just gave me the whole thought of making a superhero, but keep it ghetto.
Right.
Okay.
It's that simple.
Right.
Well, I like your superhero better than, what was that? Damon Wayans had Handyman.
I know.
Yeah, I remember Handyman. You went back. Yeah, that was crazy.
Handyman was like the original black superhero.
Yeah, for real. Like, you're not lying right now. You never lied. He was.
Absolutely. But that piece to me is so hot. I really resonate with that. That's really great.
Appreciate
so
it.
Now you got your computer, you got your faster computer, right? You figured out you can make some beats. Mm-hmm. What's the next half of your journey? What path are you on now? You're making beats, and what are you doing?
In between making the beats, because I'm still not making no cash from it yet. I was working. It was this restaurant, something sport. I forgot the name. It's been that long now since I've even had a 9 to 5. So you got to excuse me on that one.
Okay.
But Champs, Bar and Grill, something like that. Mm-hmm. And that was in Laurinburg, North Carolina. I was out there, and I worked there for about a good 8 years, but just steady, just fry cook. And in between that, go home, learn how to make these beats better. Mm-hmm. You know, everything was about perfecting it, because I didn't even want to show anybody anything. I got with this website called rockbattle.com. Okay. It's a website where all the producers, where a lot of up-and-coming producers, cats who don't even know how to make beats, just trying to figure it out themselves. Mm-hmm. Everybody went to this one website. I think it was, at the time, it was hosted by Rock Wilder, I think his name was, the producer. So I'm in here and I'm learning how to, keep up with the other producers, battling them, so to speak, getting my ass whooped because my beats were garbage at the time. I'm not even going to sit here and act like I was like a super anything. If it wasn't about rhyming, if it wasn't rhyming, I was horrible. So anyway, I was battling some other guys over there. But in me doing that online is where I started getting my first taste of networking. Okay. Like, I'm asking these other guys, how do you even get your snares like this? And how do you do that? On and on. Mm-hmm. And these are the guys that would really show me the game as far as, how to get these mixes right and just doing simple things. I would have simple questions. How do you make a snare roll? Things of that sort. Mm-hmm. And Rock Battle is where everything went forward. Like, really, because by then I started having a few kids in the neighborhood would come around me that could rap, and at the time I was producing them and mixing their music for free. Oh wow! Because I would do it for every and anybody that came. Mm-hmm. The whole purpose of me doing it was so I could learn the craft. Right. They wanted to record, I wanted to learn. So the more I do it, the more I can learn. So I was just doing it for free. It wasn't even a thing. As long as they come through, give me something to mix, I was happy. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I promise you, I probably did that for a good couple of years, to be honest, as far as just doing it. Even after I got better, I would still do it for a lot of the local kids, because, it wasn't hard to see, like, somebody that's just like you, trying to figure it out, struggling and all that. Mm-hmm. So I would always look out for the cookout and I still do it today.
I love that.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
I got a question for you, Digga. You're so kind and I appreciate it. So I'm thinking we should do. Okay, before this, we're gonna go a couple places. We're gonna get a little deeper. We're gonna get a
Good.
little hood on this, but we're just gonna get straight real. We're gonna get a little real. But I want to ask, with regard to learning your craft and everything you've done, when did you
Mm-hmm.
know to start charging people? When did you know I'm no longer finna do this for free? I have perfected this. I am now a master at this. Maybe whatever that what level of the game it was for you when you're like, nah, F that. They gotta pay me. What was that like for you?
Okay. Well, when I first got to that level, well, to be honest, I was always wanting to get paid. Let's be
Easy,
clear
for sure.
about that from the
Death.
beginning. I am about that money. But
Yeah, part. Yeah.
um, yeah, when I knew that it was time to like really start getting paid for it was when
Mm-hmm.
it was this website, and again it was through rockbattle.com, but they had a like some kind of subsidiary called myflashstore.net,
Okay.
and that would be like a place where you could sell your beats online. There was places before that like I forgot the name of the website now off the top of my head. Sound? No, not Sound. I'm trying to remember this thing.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, it was another website that I never bothered with, and they would sell their beats manually. Like a person would let them know via email or whatever that they liked it,
Mm-hmm.
and you would have to email them the beat and all that stuff. Anyway, my flash store was a lot different because this was a way you could automatically have everything set up. So a person just would have to pick what they like, click on
Mm-hmm.
it, boom, it goes directly to them. You get paid directly, finished.
Right.
When that part of the game started up is when I really came in and started saying, "Oh, okay, so this is how I can make some money."
That part.
Like finally, people
Get the
won't know me;
money.
they'll just pick what they like and go. This is how I was thinking about it at the time. Yeah, cop and go, cop and go. And not to mention I didn't sell anything immediately. It was still a
Yeah.
rough battle
Yeah. Yeah.
because
That's
I was
real.
networking with a lot of producers, but not artists on as far as online.
Right.
And here we go. This is where I would learn about the whole marketing.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like a whole
Mm-hmm.
nother hat I have to put
Mm-hmm.
on and figure out. And when I say that rabbit hole just kept getting crazier and crazier for me because like through most of my journey through the music, as far as after prison, there was no big taps. There was no JRs or anybody. There was no
Mm-hmm.
Stones and nobody to help out. I had to figure out a lot of this out on my own. And yeah, after myflashstore.net, which is now airbit.com, uh, after joining them is when I really learned how to start selling the beats and maneuvering through the whole online situation. I got with a friend of mine named Ty, who was also he was like the friend of mine that was with Pasio that died.
Mm-hmm.
Ty is his nephew.
Right.
He would come up under the wing and we would form a group called Rollover Beats. I
Bro.
mean, not a group, a business.
Mm-hmm.
It's a corporation. So we started Rollover Beats, and we was going through it because he knew how to do graphics, things of that sort. I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna
Uh-oh.
do the marketing, Facebook ads, stuff like that, or Google ads, everything. And that's when we started first getting a taste. When that February rolled in, I remember it like yesterday when we made that first $12,000 within that month.
Wow.
That's when I knew.
This is it.
That's when I knew. Okay, this is it.
Yeah.
We're here now. Finally. Yeah. That's when I knew.
That had to be a beautiful feeling.
What? Oh my God. Like, there's no other feeling like it. Just that first little lump. It was like, wow. And I didn't have to, take nobody purse or hit nobody over the head or sell this. Like, I didn't have to do nothing crazy.
Heinous,
I made this
yeah.
honest. So yeah, that was a really dope feeling.
I know that had to be beautiful.
Yeah.
I see that smile. Thank you for
Yeah,
that. I
yeah.
appreciate you going there with us. So, here again, remember the Poetry of Justice show where social consciousness meets the arts. And so, where we talked about, topics that spark the interest and awareness of social diversity. But all of that is a fancy way of saying, we like hood stuff, we like ritzy stuff, we like gangster stuff, we like holy stuff, we like spiritual stuff. We like it all, you know what I'm saying? Artistic,
Mhm.
your rhymes, your vibes, that creativity side. But what I want to know from you right now, there's so much we can talk about, but I want to know particularly about the subject of mass incarceration. Mass incarceration. When you think of that
Mhm.
and what happened, when you think of it, where do you go? You see what I'm saying? We can compartmentalize it, we can break it down,
Mhm.
but just for right now, the surface, just generality, mass incarceration. Digga.
Okay, what do I think of mass
When you
incarceration?
hear that terminology, where does your mind go right then?
Well, as soon as you said that, the only thing I could think of is like a lot of the people I left behind,
Mm-hmm.
and a good amount of them that really don't even need to be there.
Mm-hmm.
Like seriously, like me myself, I did 70 to 84 months for 2 grams of heroin. But did you hear that number? 2 grams. You know what's 2 grams of heroin? It's like, like, oh, I'm doing it the wrong way, but
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
literally like a little piece of my, and that lands me 6 to 7 years,
That's insane.
which I maxed out.
Are we talking about the sentences? Because that was like an issue about the sentencing guidelines, would you say, Digga? You feel
Yeah,
me? The
yeah, stuff like that.
improportionality. Right. What
Right.
where were
Which,
you
which
in NYC or were you down south on
I
this
was
one?
down south with that one. I was in North Carolina,
Do you think that's why they hit you a
and
little bit harder?
well, of course, that's
Shit.
without question, but it still was that was a little over the top. It still
Right.
was over the top because initially, if I wouldn't have hired a good lawyer,
Because I was just gonna
that
ask
would
you.
have been 30 years. And I
Wow.
mean that with every fiber in my bone, like every inch of my being,
Mm.
like they were literally trying to give me 30 years. They would treat me like I was some sort of kingpin. I was on the news for like the whole week. But anyway,
Oh
that's
my
not that's not.
gosh. What wow.
But yeah, it was really bad. It was really
Was they
bad.
able to try to use
So
all of that extra stuff with regard to like the prosecution side of the case with this whole grandiose putting you on the news on the spot, all that kind of stuff?
yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I let it just fly off because
Yeah.
like uh, all I can say to that is I'm tough. I'm okay. I'm built
Yeah.
for the stuff that you're not stopping me.
Okay.
Like I don't care. And if you like put it like this, I'm I went to a place where they wasn't even supposed to put me. There's a place called in Raleigh, North Carolina, called the Wall or CP, and this is for people that are sentenced to 15 years and above.
Okay.
And I'm talking about you're going to be right next to death row inmates. I don't have 15 years to do. I'm supposed to be in this place. I forgot the name of the place. I forgot the name of the place I was supposed to process at. But no, I was at the Wall.
Oh shit.
So can you imagine?
No.
I'm supposed to be in a medium custody prison, but they have me in a close custody.
Wow.
So here I am. Right before I even get in there, I'm hearing about how they just chopped somebody's head off and rolled it down the hallway. And this is what I got to walk into. And knowing that I'm not even supposed to be here. I didn't bug out. I didn't cry. I didn't say, yo, get me out of here. My whole mindset was, boy, let's see what's going on, and I get in here, it was rough. I'm not gonna lie, it was really rough. Like, I don't know if I could just go into it, just like from my first, just initial walk through, just going to the bathroom, you could see like the defecation. I'll say the defecation in the shower. So you know what that means.
Just off the gate.
Yeah. And it wasn't even regular, it was blood.
Yeah, I understand that. I understand that now, absolutely. So
Yeah,
boom,
so
off the rip.
And this was just off me being there for the first like 5 good minutes of me getting ready to go to my bed.
No.
Yeah, it was rough, and I was not supposed to process it. Yeah, I was, and I mean, I'm going to lunch and I'm seeing the death row inmates. Like they're walking in line, chained up though. They were chained up, and we were told not to look their way and all this, you know. But just seeing them, it was like, wow, we're looking, we're like literally looking at the Walking Dead here, man. Like these guys are about to die, and we're watching this, and it's like just little things like that. I don't have to go too deep because I think you get the idea, but I wasn't supposed to be there. So when I think of mass incarceration and how a lot of people not supposed to be there and things of that nature, that's why I think of that. Because of things like that, I wasn't even supposed to see that.
Right. It wasn't even. That's a cold game, man. That's what crazy. Justice? What about the word justice? What does that mean to you? That word. Justice.
Oh yeah, I remember being that asked. It's still the same. It's both reward and penalty to me. It's that balance. It's that balance, and again, it's just depending on who you are and what the situation is.
Right.
Justice.
Breonna Taylor, what do you think?
Like zero justice over there. I haven't seen anything happen over there that should be happening because the guys that's involved, the police. Come on, man. They're dealing with them in courts over a situation that don't even have anything to do with her.
I know.
I mean, so yeah, Breonna Taylor, she needs to be done right. Is what I think about that.
Right.
We definitely don't need to forget.
And then it's so ironic or not that the verdicts or the acquittals the same date as these of Emmett Till. You know what I'm saying?
Things like that.
Right.
And none of this is by mistake.
No, it's not.
No one could ever tell me that.
No.
This is all happening because it's meant to. Yeah, whatever powers that be is out there putting all this in place. Yeah, it's happening for a reason. This is not by mistake. Nothing in politics is an accident.
Right.
Thomas Jefferson.
Amen. COVID-19. Thoughts on that, Digga?
Man, I had a few friends pass because of COVID-19, which I don't know. It's just it's weird to me. It's like another thing that's done on purpose.
Okay, that's all
I feel like.
Right.
Can I ask you guys something? Can I ask you something?
Yes, please.
Yeah.
A lot of people are trying to turn this Breonna Taylor situation around. Do you guys really know the ballistics of her boyfriend and that whole thing, that she might not be as worthy to be protesting over and all this other stuff? Do you know what's going on with all that?
I know quite a
Did you guys know them?
I heard a tad tidbit about the fact that her boyfriend was like was in the game and had been a bad actor, if you will, and they was looking for him, and she kind of was in the crosshairs, but nothing to the regard that she was in there with him on the ground, putting in any type of situation. So I don't know. What about you all?
Yeah. Express their ways. They're
distract.
Yeah. Yep, and her boyfriend actually came out. I think when they burst into her new man's spot, right, or her spot, her old boyfriend was incarcerated, and he came forward to say that she had no engagement or dealings or any part of her life that way, that they were done. And she wasn't engaged in that. I think it is like propaganda to try to
make her look ratchet,
desensitize you, or to somehow justify what the police did.
Right.
But the mere fact that you kick somebody's door in and you don't announce who you are.
Yes.
Never did that come out. Come on, what is that about? Even you don't even just like police and kick the door right after.
Right.
You don't say
just
nothing.
boom, boom.
You just kick the door in. Of course, old boy gonna shoot at you. He don't
Right,
know
he don't know who you are.
You know?
Exactly.
He doesn't know who you are.
Shit. Oot.
I mean, if
I
you
was
grew
him, I
up in
would've
my
did the same
neighborhood,
thing.
it's shoot or get shot, right?
Right,
That's
right.
how that goes.
That's right. I would have did the
That's my
same thing.
thinking, Gerald, is that they sprinkle the water out, the seeds out there for you to
Think differently.
try to sympathize and empathize with the decisions the police make.
Right.
That's what
Yep.
There's no excuse.
I come to that same conclusion, Roy. I come to, it's just, they're trying to camouflage everything, man.
Yeah.
Anything,
Digga,
they're
when
gonna
I
go
was-
for it. Anything, they're gonna go for it. You know what I
Digga,
mean?
I wanted to ask you something. This is not a reflection on, because I loved every bit of our time together and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And it just shows me, I just want to say thanks, man. Because it always makes me feel a certain way. Because I want the audience to know, not only when we was working together, man, for 5 years, we signed that first contract in '89.
Yeah.
You turned around after 5 years of us trying to do it. We put on an honest effort and we gave it a shot, and
Hey.
blah, blah, blah. And after all said and done, you did, man. And after being together for 10 years and me giving, I want you to know, I think you do that. I gave all I had, man. But
yeah, I believe that. Yeah.
You,
I know that,
man. I felt a certain way though, Big, when sometimes afterwards that, that I failed and I was hoping.
Nah. Let me cut you off right there. And here's why. It's because, I got to cut him off. First of all, you all mushy. But second of all, back to the real of it, we were wild boys. Like the way I'm sitting here smiling and being cool and everything, I was that guy back then too. Same face and everything, but we were wild. All of us. There was really no controlling us. We had to go through what we went through so we could be, I'm going to speak for myself, so I could be who I am right now.
Right.
If it wasn't for me going to prison, doing those years, saying, you know what, this is it, I'm not coming back. Because not only did I do that time, I did a little bit before that. So it's like, yo, when does all this stop? And I had to come to terms that, look, my environment is not to blame. You're not to blame. She's not to blame. He's not to blame. I'm to blame. I'm doing this. I had to learn that. And until myself, Stone, and everybody else got that same lesson, we were failing because we put failure in front of ourselves every day of the week.
That wasn't back on the clock. I don't think it was failure. The failure wasn't you, brother. The failure, once you signed to me, Digga, it is my obligation, my duty to take you to the next level. I feel as though I'm the one who failed. But I'm gonna tell you something.
You did. You did everything you were supposed to do. Because at the end of the day, how can you win for me without me wanting to win for me? I need to know that. But if I don't want to win for me, how you gonna win for me? That's impossible in my mind. I can't see it.
Right.
But you know what, Digga? I think that's very good advice for a lot of our listeners, right? Is that no one can want more for you than you want for yourself, right? You've got to want things, opportunities for yourself, and you can align with people who will help you get there. But if the desire doesn't live truly within you, no one can bring you along. The other thing that you said that I definitely subscribe to, and I say all the time, is that God creates the circumstances in our lives for us to become the people we are now, right? whether those are challenging or not so challenging. But the pathway that God led you through allowed you to become the Digga Den that you are now.
Yeah.
And without those experiences and circumstances, that may not have happened, you know? So I think, Gerald, you have to live in a place of I know you have a great heart and you try to save everything, but in terms of saving stuff, you can smother it and kill it by holding it too close and holding it too enclosed, right? Yeah. The only thing you can do is to be there to allow it to flourish or not.
Right.
And we have to
accept the or not.
That is so true, Lloyd, but I'm just saying, just now, before when it was fresh, after those 10 years, I was a little disappointed and, you know, it was hard to face. But now, especially that he's so successful now and that he's doing what he's doing and me and him are where we're at, he relieved me of that, like, you know, that feeling of like, damn, I failed, you know, or you know what I mean? He's like, he's a bigger dude, man, yo, Diggs. I appreciate, man, and you know what he told me the other day? I want people to know.
What's that?
He said, Tap, I'll do it again.
That part. Amen.
There you go.
This is what it is.
That made me right there.
Right. You know, our Zoom room has got some activity, guys. We have Chris Frank joining us from New York.
All right.
Says, thank you for hooking it up. Thank you for hooking it up. But Dig, can I say everyone can be wild, but not everyone can put that down in lyrics and it sounds fly.
Right.
8 million stories in the naked city, but we're not going to fill all the stories on some lyric shit. Grand.
Yo, that's Chris. That's Chris. That's Grand. That's Big Chris.
Oh, word. Okay.
Chris.
So you know what, Digga, before we came on air, you were talking about some big contest stuff you were doing. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah. Okay, I got a few of those kind of pages going on right now. On Instagram, I'm dealing with Beats for Bars contest, which is for artists as well as producers. And it's just a place because, hold on, let me slow down, first of all. It all started from COVID.
Okay.
Because of this whole COVID situation, you got a lot of artists and producers who are not able to really go anywhere, or at the time, especially because cities were closed and everything, they couldn't go anywhere. They couldn't do anything. So me and a friend of mine, we were trying to just find something for not only us to do, but the whole community, as far as whoever was down to, you know, just join us, you know? So we set up a contest page where it was supposed to initially be for only artists, where, you know, rappers would get on there and the best one, whoever win, we would give them a prize at the end. Whoever we felt was the best one, we give them $100.
Okay.
You know? And it was out of pocket. You know, they didn't have to jump through any hoops to, you know, get this $100. It's only $100. But anyway, so we did that for a couple of weeks, you know, and after a while, we wound up bringing in producers because a lot of producers kept coming to our pages. Hey, can we throw up a beat, this, that, and the third? So we brought the producers in and said, hey, tell you what, you all the producers get together, whoever makes the best, whatever type of beat that we choose for them to make, whoever wins, you can win a prize, and on and on and on. And it's been growing ever since.
Wow.
And yeah, when I say this community is fire, it's a beautiful community because everybody is really like, I can see how they're within the infrastructure, behind the scenes, networking with each other, telling each other how they could do this better and do that better. And everybody's growing in there, you know? Because like I told them, it's not about the money. Don't think about the prize. If you're looking for that number one prize, you're the real loser. You're not the winner. Because what this is really about is networking. This is all about community. We had this saying that we say community up. it's all about community.
Okay.
So you need to learn how to network with people.
Mm-hmm.
The more you start talking to others and dealing with others, the further you'll get ahead.
Right.
That's what, if you ask me, it's the beauty of online.
Mm-hmm.
That's the beauty, because I know there's like you could go through the nightmare as well, but if you know what you know and you can push that to the side and only deal with the positives, because
Mm-hmm.
it's up to you at the end of the day. What you choose to take on is what you're going to get.
Okay.
That's just the bottom line. But not to go off. Like I said, it's just all about community, and all I wanted for everybody involved was to be able to network with one another, so that way maybe they can do their own thing on the side, collab and make music over here, and come back, ask questions if you don't know. I can tell you how to get a DistroKid account or something.
Mm-hmm.
Don't sign to no label. Don't do nothing crazy, because believe it or not, independently you could make way more noise. It's worth way more to own your own masters. So it's just little things like that we're trying to show them, because we're also about to start doing tutorials and things of that nature, not about just simply how to make a beat or anything like that, but just about the business in itself and what they could do for themselves, opposed to trying to run and chase some kind of deal from whatever .records.coms and all this stuff. You could just do it for yourself and make way more, but you have to put in the work.
Mm-hmm.
And networking helps.
Networking does. That's a beautiful story. Oh my God, I'm really I'm captivated. What about you, Lori G? How are you feeling tonight about all of this? Digga Dan.
I am. I'm just enamored at your spirit, at your commitment, at your journey. And so is the Zoom room. We've got some more comments over here.
Oh, okay.
That's why I turned it over. I saw the comments coming in.
Chris says, but your lyrics we was feeling, let me say, so we don't get it twisted. Y'all said it and lived it. Word. That's a testament to you, Digga.
Yes.
Word bond. And Chris Fisher says, to your earlier statement, it starts at the beginning.
Right.
And if in the beginning we are not taught, it automatically changes our path. In the beginning was the word. And even if you say you were taught the word of God, in the beginning, you might have been taught the wrong word. Like you gonna go to hell if you don't get it right. That's self-effort, the Mosaic law. Today, some still don't know they are under grace. And grace changes your mindset of who you are. And we are the righteousness of God.
Amen.
Thank you, Chris. And
what did she say
one more comment. Chris Frank says, I think what we are seeing is the evolution of man who was already on the right path. And then Rashid had a comment taking us back to our Breonna Taylor story. He says Charles Barkley, you know him from the NBA, says that since the current boyfriend shot first, Breonna and Ahmaud Arbery. What do you guys think of that?
I lost audio. Go ahead. Could you repeat that, Lori?
Charles Barkley feels or has come out to say, according to Rashid, that because Breonna Taylor's boyfriend shot first, that Breonna Taylor is not in the same category as George Floyd or Ahmaud Arbery. That her story is different because of that shot.
What do you think about that, Digga?
Wasn't she in bed?
Yeah.
She's in bed sleep.
Like, how could she not fall in that category when, if this is the guy shooting at you, shouldn't you be shooting over there at him? How he's not, not saying that I want him to be hit or whatever, but, how come he wasn't hit? How the hell you get the bullets in the bed opposed to where he was at? Am I missing something? Was he behind the bed or something?
I don't know. I'm not positive. That I do know that the police shot over 30 gunshots into the bedroom.
No way.
Over 30.
That is
Rashid
insane.
says that she and the boyfriend were awake in the living room. That's news. I thought they were in the bedroom.
Okay, because I thought they were in the bedroom or something like that. But still though, like
That's
why is her life less important just because of a shot?
And that
Because
makes no
he
sense.
shot first? That doesn't make sense to me either.
No.
I don't see it.
Yeah, Chris Frank says that is how the grand jury will look at it. They will look at it as the boyfriend shot, and therefore
it was
shooting
justifiable.
Of the police
yeah, that makes sense. They're gonna do that. You can expect the worst, you know, as far as from that aspect. Yeah, they're gonna make them look as bad as they can, so they can look polished.
So
now Chris Fisher is shaking it up in the Zoom room. She says her information says the boyfriend didn't shoot, that ballistics was not put out, that they didn't share that information. It wasn't proven that the boyfriend shot. It was only assumed.
More distraction, folks.
I know, right? But that's the part right there,
Digga.
There's a lot of smoke and mirrors.
So we're making justifying why this could have happened, or I don't know. Is the payoff enough? Is the money enough? Is justice? Can we quantify that financially? So we too.
The only way I can answer that is, how much is a life worth to you? Within that question. So that, if you could answer that question, then I guess,
I guess so.
What did they get? Like 2 million or something like that?
Yeah.
Come on, 2 million. And that 2 million will be gone in 2 years.
Right. God forbid once you pay taxes on it. You know what I'm saying?
Right. This 2 million is not a lot of money.
And then God forbid they got to break bread with the attorney. So that's a third already gone. Just gone. Just saying.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? When you break it all the way down to the ground. So what is that?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Lloyd, what does Chris Frank say about the big picture thing?
He says the big picture is things have to change in terms of how comfortable authority feel about taking a life, especially one of color.
Let's go.
Yeah. It does. But here's the question for the panel, and I don't know how to answer this.
12 million.
A part of it is I believe in voting, as you can see my new background, right?
Me too.
But how do we go about creating that change? Right? I had a very disturbing conversation. It's still disturbing, and it happened maybe a couple months ago, with a young man who, I think is like 25-ish, and just does not believe in voting.
Yeah,
he doesn't believe that we can make an impact, that the vote can make a difference, that we can change or empower our communities. How do we reconcile that, or
does it matter?
That's really tricky. Because at the end of the day, we already know how a lot of the votes work as far as dealing with the electoral colleges.
Right.
Saying that right? So a lot of people, you can't. It's hard to knock them for not really believing in it, because at the end of the day, they're partially right. I hate to say that right now, because I'd rather vote than not vote. I'm a believer in doing something opposed to sitting back and just letting whatever fall where it may. Because we control a lot more when we're actually making some form of motion. But to sit back and do nothing, that's crazy. That to me is crazy. So I would rather vote than not vote.
Wow.
I think some people get also confused with the actual system in itself, because the main focus has always been on the president. It's never been on the congressman. It's never been, on the elected officials. It's never been on. It's always been on the elective, and it's never been on the, on the actual position that really matters the most. And and that's for the Congress,
Mm-hmm.
and that's where the smoke and mirrors comes into play.
Yep.
Right.
The biggest distraction is our
Absolutely.
president.
He absolutely
Well,
is.
absolutely. And
Yes.
I mean, we've got to change things in terms of our local government. I really agree with you on that, Rashid. I mean, we've got to look at, and not just our congressmen, but who is on your neighborhood school board?
Mm-hmm.
Who is on
More
your,
importantly,
who is your mayor? Who are your city
Yeah.
council people? You know, because that impacts our community.
Yes,
That
it does.
impacts
yes.
who we are. And as people begin to care more about their communities, that will only spread. I mean,
Mhm.
like, what type of leadership with the Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg? She died, and 10 minutes later, the Republicans are rallying for a replacement, right? Because we know
Crazy.
the Senate is Republican.
Right.
If we get out, we can change the makeup of the Senate, right?
Right.
That
Mhm.
vote to put someone in office who is a Democrat that can make a difference, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know how we, at the grassroots level, revitalize or inspire, you know, Generation Z and the millennials.
To vote, yeah.
My group is already inspired to actually make changes. We want to make changes
Yeah.
because the woman that is supposed to be that is nominated by our president currently is Amy Coney Barrett.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I read about that earlier. I don't even know who she is.
A conservative
She's a
white lady.
Yes, she's a
Okay.
conservative white lady, 40
Yeah.
years old. In
Got
the
7 kids, I think.
7th district
Wow.
of the Supreme Court. So yeah, she's already in the system.
So that'd probably be it.
Exactly. Cheryl from Florida, who's one of our faithful listeners, Digga,
Hey, cousin.
says Breonna Taylor's family settlement was $12 million.
12 mil.
But that doesn't make it right.
What does that number make a change for you, Digga?
I'd rather have you. So
I was asking Dig, does that number change? You know what I'm saying? Now that the number has changed to 12 mil, does that change your perspective at all?
nope.
Yeah.
I'd rather have an alive Brianna than a dead Brianna with 12 million behind her. Like, you know, she's worth more than that.
For sure.
A part of that is
They can't give the family enough money.
No.
There's no way.
But
She died wrong, you know. No matter how you chalk it up. She
Yeah.
shouldn't have
Right.
died
Like some freaking hush money or something, you know what I'm saying?
like that. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Like here, go away. You know, it ain't. It's a cold game.
Yeah.
But I don't know. What Miss Fisher?
Exactly. You here, take your foot.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
No, you're right. No, I'm saying it's like a dismissal. Just like here, get this gone.
Yeah. Take
You
your
know.
12. Now send all your people off to stop protesting and doing
Right.
this. Meanwhile, we're not gonna lock no police up about this. We're not gonna lock up anyone. We're just gonna let everything go.
And then we've got a black man, you know, Charles Barkley out here saying, well, you know, it's not the same guy. So don't feel the same way about Breonna Taylor as y'all did about George Floyd because, you know, her dude had a gun. You see what I'm saying? How can you be a black man with a black uniform? So what? What about her? What about protecting her? Even in her, you see what I'm saying? How you just gonna even act like that? You know, and I'm just saying, you know, I mean, even if you felt that way, don't come out publicly and now create a diversion for people to, you know, pick apart and water down what happened that this poor girl was murdered. Period.
Yeah. Yes. She was in a. It was literally. It's coincidental that she was the only one that was shot, but the one officer that did get indicted wasn't even for what happened to Breonna. It was for him being reckless and firing and blind firing into neighbors' homes and walls, and he almost hit a pregnant woman and her child that was in another house. So it's just
I'm horrified right now.
I mean, I think it goes back, in my opinion. Who am I? I'm going to say this and then I'll shut up. Right? Um, it goes to people. These police officers, not all police officers, but some police officers are totally afraid. Right? That they are petrified by the job they have decided. And again, it's decided. Right? You're not recruited into law enforcement. You don't have to do like other countries where everybody has to do so many years, but they are electing to be a part of law enforcement, and they are completely petrified about that. And I'm not judging them, and I'm not saying that being petrified is not valid. But what we have to do as a society is that we have to create screening of individuals where we find a good balance between someone who has the mental psyche and the personality makeup to work in that field. And then we have to provide better training, right? Better processes and procedures in order to reduce that level of fear. Because when we all get afraid, right? If you've ever been afraid, you either gonna fight or you gonna flight. You're gonna run. That's just how the body is wired, right?
Right.
So if I'm scared and I hear one shot and the adrenaline is pumping and going, you spraying everybody, right?
Right. Yeah, sounds about right.
Yeah, for sure.
we gotta try to reduce that fear factor. And I was gonna ask your opinion, Digga, on along those lines. What do you feel about these protests that say defund the police?
Yeah.
On the mere fact that we feel they need more training, right?
Yeah.
But other people are, and I'm not judging, other people are protesting to say defund them. That's just an argument I don't quite understand. So I'm interested in the panel's opinion.
Okay. Right.
Well, to me, that's a tricky road.
Right.
Because you defund them, then how you gonna get your training? What you ask for.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Oh my gosh.
I believe when we say defund, we're not actually talking about, oh yeah, I'm gonna completely just I'm gonna strip them completely just bear all. No, it's because we know that they get excess funds and they use those excess funds on new toys like
right.
Like new tanks. So instead of using those funds in that way, we are talking about reallocating those funds back into the community to actually improve the community. We're not talking about straight up, we're just gonna axe the police. No. We still expect them to do their job. Now, those funds that they have, they can still use those funds for better training. They still have more than enough for that. We're talking about, taking that extra that they have for the little toys and putting that into our communities and making our communities better.
I agree with that in terms of making our communities better. But here's the hard part for me, Rashid, is if the people in power have not come forward to say, oh, we're not going to buy toys. You know what? We're going to do sensitivity training, or we're going to do diversity and inclusion and equity training. What makes us think they're going to do that now?
Right. And
they haven't done it before. What would be the catalyst for doing that now if there is no standard of accountability employed?
That's where it comes to our leadership. That's where it comes back to our vote. That's where we have to actually get in the people that actually see where we're coming from to make our vote count in order for them to actually hold people accountable. Because yes, we're gonna say this. Yes, there's good cops. Yes, there's bad cops. But if the good cops aren't speaking up, then they all get meshed together. The bad cops and the good cops get meshed together, which is why we've already had a couple police officers in different cities, in different states, already being targeted because of people are outraged. People are tired of this dog and pony show that has been going on for generations, for years. It is just now that we have been able to actually have it documented, actually have it on file, actually have it on video.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, people would not even care about it.
Right.
Cause we be talking like we're blue in the face and they would never believe us. But even now, even with the actual proof, they still don't want to believe us.
That's true. And I got a comment, but I've been talking too much, so I'm gonna hold my comment and I'm gonna share because the Zoom room is blowing up over here. Everybody in the Zoom room got it, right? So Chris Fisher says, if we stop spending money as a collective, we would shut this shit down and voting wouldn't matter. No matter who wins, stop spending money. That's their language. Exactly. They just trying to slowly get us to go away. What do you think about that, Digga? Is money the language of America?
What? That's the only language
thing.
of America.
Capitalism.
That is all. You take their money, oh my God, a lot of things would change. You know what I'm saying? But again, got to be careful because these people been doing this forever. Like people been pissed off for years. This is not the first time people protesting and all that. And like things have been going on with proof. You know, even back then. The thing is, they've been doing this for a long time. When I say the evil is real, it's past that.
Right.
Yeah. Absolutely. Chris Frank says you can never put a price on a life, but that money can be used to do a lot of things on a community level. Also to inspire some real change, assuming they stay in the hood. I think Chris is referring to the Breonna Taylor family, right? They could do with their money.
Right, because I heard that that the area that they're in is being gentrified. So that's a little bit.
Another topic. What do you guys think about gentrification? Tap, you should have a lot to talk about, and you too, David, with Harlem. It is completely gentrified.
Tap didn't move into the gentrification. When I was there, I kid you not, a white man walked through that neighborhood, they were getting hit over the head every time.
Every time.
They changed that around.
Yeah.
But nah,
you're on mute.
Tap, you're on mute.
Who, Tap?
Yeah.
Okay. Diggs, you just said something about gentrification. What about me
that
being
you didn't move? You didn't move over there in Harlem until then.
Shit.
We gotta watch.
You know what? And I was just telling my manager here, that is the best move I made in New York is moving to Harlem.
Yeah.
Trust me. Financially, I felt at home, the culture, everything. Harlem is the bomb, baby.
Yep.
My manager's from Harlem.
We tried to get you over there when it was still all black, man.
Hey,
Harlem. How you doing?
Hey, girl, what's up?
Hey, how's everybody?
We good. How you doing?
I'm good.
All right.
Good.
Hey, now, New York, let's do it. Big city and dreams. Hey.
Exactly.
Right.
Right.
So I have a question for you, Digga. As we've talked a lot about community, you've talked a lot about community, and the Poetry of Justice show really stands on a platform to create a voice for sometimes a voiceless communities, right? What do you think, with your success, your fame, your notoriety, do you have an obligation to publicly reach back and give to your community, or is that too big of a weight to put on any one individual's shoulders?
That's a good question. That's a really good question. I like that. But you know, see, everybody is just built different, even though we're the same.
Right.
Like, do I feel like you should reach back? Yep. I feel like you should make sure that everyone in your circle, around you, behind you, whatever you want to call it, you should make it your business to make sure that everybody eats. No one should ever be left out on no accord. You know, you should never be too high and mighty.
Right.
But not everyone is built like that.
Right.
And you know, like some people, they get a little money, they're scared to go back to wherever they came from initially, even though they was there all their life. And I should be, you know, should get out of there because they might become the next target. You know, if you're around a bunch of hungry wolves, what you think is going to happen to you?
True that.
When you're not part of that pack, you're going to get ate. It's just the bottom line. So you know, it depends on the circumstances again and what you're. Want to be a martyr either for that type of cause. You might be a way you can reach back.
Sounds being crazy.
You still should make sure that you take care of your people. Definitely.
Right.
Chris Fisher in the Zoom room says, for community reaching back, it depends. It depends where is the mindset of those you are reaching back for. They need to be growing with you. God will have some drop off. Have you experienced that in your journey to success, Digga? That there are people who had to drop off along that pathway?
Yes. A lot of like people that I could say were like really close because mainly because we wasn't on the same mindset. You know, they're thinking about whatever they're thinking about, and I'm way over here to the left. You know, I got my goal on my. Let's just say we're everybody here is a part of this team, which everyone here is, right?
Right.
Now, whoever the leader is of the team, everybody on that team, priority should be to make sure that that head is straight. Because without that, everything else gone. So everybody should be pulling together to make sure that the head is good. And I hope I said that simple enough because I mean, you know, I could go in a little deeper, but it's like, no, I'm not trying to take over and have a long story. But yes, everybody should make sure.
This is your show. Your show. We want to hear your thoughts.
Okay, well, that's definitely my thought. Everybody should make sure that one person is all the way straight because when the head is straight, everyone else is going to be straight. Just bottom line.
Heavy is the head who wears the crown.
You better believe that.
What do you think about that, Dig?
Very heavy because once again, you're a target. Everybody's watching you. All eyes are on you. And everyone that's watching you is not gonna like it.
How do you deal with that? How do you use it? How do you use that energy? You know, when that energy is coming towards you, how have you processed that, and how do you deal with that, particularly with where you've been? You feel me?
Well, what's worked for me in most cases is, you know, I'm really quick on the draw as far as to address it. Because I don't like nothing festering. I don't like to sit on nothing. I don't want to be trying to wait to see what happened. I need to know right then and there. So if I see that something's going to be some form of an issue, I'm going to address it. In the bud. Yeah, depending on the situation, depends on how I address it.
Yeah, just kind of wondering about that. You know what
now,
I mean?
Digga, I have a comment for you. So I think this was a few shows back. Jackie and I had, or she had a guest on the show who critiqued the Black community. And it reminded me of when you said the head needs to be strong, right? So an opinion of that critique was that there will be so much infighting in Black communities that they will not support straightening the head of that leader. That they don't want complete alignment because they liken themselves to crabs in a barrel.
I hate to even have to agree, but I kind of, to a great extent, I agree because let's really think about this right quick, right?
Mm-hmm.
Black community, right?
Right.
Who's the head? Who's making sure everybody's all right? Who's holding the whole fort down for us all?
No, each one.
Can't name one, right?
No.
So then, with that said, is it a real wonder to why everything is in some kind of chaotic state? There's no head, no body. The body dies. You cut that head off, everything else is confused, gone. You know, when you cut a chicken's head off, I just see, running about, crazy before it actually dies. That's what we are. And I hate to even say that, but it's a reality. There's no head, so it's nothing but chaos.
Chris Fisher, what did you say? What did Miss Chris Fisher say?
She says because the head is Christ.
What do you think of that?
There you go.
And when we start to recognize.
Yeah.
There we go.
It sounds so plain, doesn't it?
That is so interesting because the Black church plays a huge amount within the Black community, right? So why isn't there more strength there in terms of strengthening that head or that position of leadership? Does the panel feel the Black church still provides the leadership today that it did in 1960?
No, I don't think so. What do you think, Rashid?
I could say that the Black church isn't as involved in the community as it used to be, especially, back in the day. There are still churches out there that will still look out for the community, will still make sure that people are, fed, people are, clothed, which is, what we believe that the traditional church should be able to do. Right. But when you have the main figureheads of the church aren't the actual, aren't actually Black, and the main figureheads that we see within the church, their rhetoric is at times very questionable and very false. It brings into question, why is the belief in Christianity and Catholicism even worth it?
Great points.
Wow.
What do you think, Ms.
Well, the Zoom room is reacting.
I know. I'm like, wow.
As they should.
Chris Frank says, yes, Dig, leadership can be fragmented, but we be on the same page. Chris Fisher goes on to say that this goes back to being taught wrong. Chris Frank says, foundation-wise, absolutely, the Black church is undeniably, especially behind the scenes. What do you think of that? Chris Frank, I kind of disagree on that point, but this ain't my show. This is Digga's show. So, Digga, what you think?
Hold on. So he said what again?
He said that foundation-wise, the Black church, I'm paraphrasing, the Black church is undeniably strong, and especially behind the scenes.
Oof. Well, behind the scenes is not doing up front.
Right, that's what I'm saying. I don't understand that behind the scene part, because I'm confused.
Yeah,
if you ain't on the front line, it's useless.
Not doing nothing for the community. Just got to say that. And as far as being strong,
who
I don't
cares
see it.
anymore?
Like as far as on a whole, to where everything is like a little bit stronger and better at the very least, visually. Like I don't see nothing happening so special at all.
Nothing going down.
I see everything in disarray right now. Like literally.
I think it's all centered around, again, I know I'm talking way too much and I apologize, but I get passionate about these right? I think the word you said earlier, Digga, capitalism.
Of course.
Yeah.
Everything is monetary, right?
Everything.
So I believe there are some, not all, but there are some Black churches that have fed into that mega church explosion, right? It has become a financial gain before it has become a servant to the Lord and the people.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I agree. I'm looking around and see way more atheists these days, or whatever have you, that just is running away from the church. Is what I see. More people is going everywhere but to it, to where they feeling like, oh no, you know what? I might not go to church, but I can pray in my closet. Like, it's a lot more people like that out here now.
Right, because we can show unity, we can be together, but if we're united going down the wrong path, then what's the point of that unison? If we're going to be united, we need to be united on one body, one soul, one goal that is actually going the actual right direction, that is going to actually lead us out of this predicament.
Right.
Because if we're going to be unified, because even in the Constitution, it even says, if the people does not like the way the new government over that. So if we want to be united, we need to be united, because we call this the United States of America, but last time I checked, we really haven't been a United States.
No.
Right.
We need to become the transparent state of America.
Everybody,
right?
Daryl Barnes says
that
from Facebook, Daryl Barnes from Facebook says that the church should teach and follow the scriptures, no matter how politically incorrect it may be. We still need to follow those basic doctrines and principles. Thank you, Daryl.
But you know what, Daryl? It's hard for me, and I'm not going to name the name of the church, but I went to a Black church. This was a few years back, and do you know they had commercials?
What?
I mean, what do you
They
mean?
had segments of the church where American Airlines had a sponsorship. And yes, they had ads. You know how you get the daily program? The program lets you know what's going to happen in the church, right?
Yeah.
So there are ads by American Airlines. There are ads by big businesses and corporations, because that breeds what? And people sit on the front row based on your tithing. Depending on what your level of tithing was, is where you sat.
Wow. Or unless you have other special favors you're rendering for people in the pulpit.
Put out there, guys, I'm a Christian. I love the Lord.
Chris gonna die.
I grew up in the church. I'm still a supporter of the church, but some things have changed from when I was a kid going to church to how I am now. When you kind of look around and you look abroad, that's just
life in general.
My observation.
What Chris said?
That's bananas to me. Like,
it was bananas.
Look, I got this one line. There's no church in the wild, yo. Survival is gonna be what it's always been. Primal.
Basically.
Y'all get that?
Basically, yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Because that's really all we are at the end of the day, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Because everything is going backwards. Everything is just what's that? Devolving.
Is it going full circle?
As much as we're progressing.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I feel like it is. It's just as we're progressing, like through things such as technology and everything, like the powers that be, they're putting all these little pockets of bullshit, for the lack of better words. And this is what they're putting out there for us. You know what I'm saying?
I do. Absolutely.
The powers that be, they're putting everything in front of us to keep us from the real prize. This is just the way it's always been. They don't want us.
We've got to interrupt the flow.
We were talking about.
How do we interrupt that flow? Can we interrupt that flow, Digga?
Well, from that one statement earlier, you got to play with their pockets. That's like the major thing you could do.
Okay,
it's just certain things you do in war, and one of them, the heaviest thing you could do is mess with their pockets. What? Mess with their power.
Mm-hmm.
What else? Like, you know what I mean? Like, these are just basic art of war tactics. Sun Tzu. You know what I'm saying? But if you touch them financially, like I forgot the guy who said it earlier in the chat, just take that money. Don't spend. Okay. Especially us.
That's what Chris said. Don't spend.
That's it.
You have to think differently. Change the interruption of the flow, right? Make a difference. And I believe that's what we
have
do.
To care. We've got to definitely become more aware.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Here's the scary part. Once you become more aware, once you start gathering up the leaders, what starts happening?
Well, things start changing, right?
Well, as far as when you got leaders in place, for example, somebody answered, falling off, Chris, you're right. They start falling off. Your Martin Luther Kings, your Malcolm X's, these leaders start falling off.
Yeah, your target.
You become more aware. What's that? Black Wall Street. You become more aware. You start wanting to fund yourself, hold your own best ways. Like, there's no good way to fall off, but there's better ways than 6 foot under.
Right.
Absolutely.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? So now we have to start thinking for not only on the sense of being able to hold ourselves down as a community, but we literally have to be ready for war, because once we got that much together, we have to seriously begin to start focusing on getting ready to protect ourselves. Because when we start getting to a point where we can hold ourselves down without said government, then we got to be ready to be able to fight said government.
Right.
And this is the strongest hold that they have on everybody.
That's true.
This is why it's important to cut their money off.
Right.
Yeah.
What were you going to say?
I mean, look at the time. The our Rashid just informed me that we're at 8 o'clock.
No way! YikesRadio.com.
Oh, really?
Kevin Nash gonna be like, what?
I feel like we didn't go all the way here.
I know, right? Thank you, Rashid.
You are amazing, but we got to let our fans know, how do they get their hands on your beats? Like, what are your handles? How can they follow you?
We're still on Facebook and YouTube, so.
Yeah, well, definitely on Instagram. That's like the best way to reach me, at Prod by Den, PROD by Den.com. That's my website, and same handle on Instagram and everywhere else, Facebook. I'm starting my YouTube channel now.
Hey now.
I've been slow on that draw.
It's all good.
It's okay. It's all good.
As long as you're doing it, that's the main thing. But we've got to come back. We've got to do some more things and do some more collaborations, and you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I wouldn't mind.
Share some of our additional talents with you. Like you said in the interview, it's all about networking, right? You feel me?
Yeah, that's all about networking.
Right. Speaking of networking, I have something I want to share with you. And as you know, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was going to talk about the Zoom room. You go ahead.
No, go, Lola.
No, the Zoom room is just giving you big love. They loved you. They thought time went way too fast.
It really felt like it to me, too.
They're going to go check out your beats right now.
I appreciate it.
Yeah. I think I might have to talk to you off air, because I think the POJ show might need some beats. I think we might need that.
Yeah.
Say less.
If
that's what you want and need, I got you.
I got something for you. This is an excerpt from a piece called Transitions, Digga. And this is for me. deoxyribonucleics, alterations of the cannabis, images that are picturesque, seductive as the burlesque, dancer, prancer, donner, and vixen, scratching at the surface, awaiting the conviction deep in my spirit, deep in my soul, branded with fire, a smoke screen of desire. Passion erupts, erotic and abrupt. A change in energy, a change in my synergy. Remembering when it was me, but not quite as clever. You see, replacement can never be simply because it's just not me. The poet is Ray.
Big snaps, big snaps.
Yeah. But we got to interrupt the flow. You know, we just transitions and just make things a little bit differently. And like how you say, individualizing things and people being more of an entrepreneurial spirit and the energies that you've brought to us on this show. And each one of us reaching another one and teaching another one and just building that community. And I pray and just hope that we can continue to keep that spirit alive as we brought to this show tonight. And that God is with us and that we are a mighty people and nothing can hold us back. So thank you so much for your time tonight, Digga. You have been an inspiration on so many levels. So I bless you and I thank you so much for sharing your time. Thank you to Gerald, Big Tap Promotions. We appreciate you. And Rashid, you know, it's nothing like you. We appreciate you so much. Lori G's the benefactor. She does it all, people. So I'm blessed and honored. So I'm just going to say thank you so much, Digga. And I'm just going to speak life. I know you'll be back because we have different topics.
You'll be back, Digga.
All kind of stuff. So I will be checking. You know, we in it. We fam. It's all good in the hood.
We are. You have been amazing. Thank you for sharing your music. Thank you for sharing your thoughts, your time, your perspective. You are amazing.
All right.
Appreciate you. So are you guys. Y'all better know it.
Thanks, Diggs.
All right now.
Guys.
Hey David, what's up? What's up, Big T? All right, guys, love you guys so much. God bless. Love you. Thank you so much, Meg G. Love you guys.
Good night.
Facebook, love you so much. What's up, Big T in the house, Compton style. What's up, Mr. Heflin? Love you so much. Thank you guys for tuning in. It's been a great time. Great time. All right, James, I see you. Thank you so much, Meg G. Love you guys so much. Peace and blessings.